Come on in, come on in. Bunched up. We are going to get the live started in just a second. Waiting on my co-host to join me here. How is everybody doing? Are y'all enjoying the series so far? I surely hope so. I had a really good time with Geo last week. So absolutely um, having the time of my little life. Oh, says Demi is unable to join. Let's see if I invite you. Can you join? There you go.
Sis,
Look at you.
look at you.
Oh, I feel like I ain't seen you in so long.
It's been about 8 months.
Has it been that
Probably eight
long?
plus. Probably like a year. It's probably been a little longer because I closed the shop like 6 months ago, and yeah, you came out of service like a couple months before. So shit, probably
So
like
it
a
had to
year,
be 8, 9, 10 months. Oh my God.
about
I
nine to
have
ten
got to,
months. Mm-hmm.
I have got to do better.
How you feeling?
Oh
You
my
look
God.
good.
Thank you. So do you. So do you. I can't wait to get into it. I really can't. I really can't. All right. So this is what we're gonna do. So of course you already know me. I'm Nick, life coach and owner of Rebirth Life Coaching. But today's guest, he is family. Demi
We go
has,
way back.
Demi has been a close friend and just supporter of Rebirth for a long time. And we sat down with Demi in 2023 um,
Mm-hmm.
to
Was it
talk
23?
about, yeah, yep.
Feel like it was sooner. It was earlier than that. Okay, yeah, it was because I started in 2021. Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm.
So Demi had created, okay, so I ain't gonna tell y'all everything. Y'all got to, first of all, if you are not following, I am Demi Cortez, you already behind.
It's a
So
new
let's,
movement.
so we're gonna let you catch up. But on Demi's page, he also has the link to his YouTube, which is phenomenal. And one of his very first videos, Demi talks about his journey. So what led up to where he is in that moment. And I would even say Demi has grown even since that video, talking about where he was and just getting on in front of a camera. Like that's a big deal.
This process.
That's a big deal. So I'm so excited because you all were formally introduced to Demi as a master esthetician, like trainer of other estheticians, creator of his own skincare line, which is a skin courtesy of Demi. Okay, I'm just gonna say that because I still use product. So just saying, it does what it does what it needs to do. But Demi has been a phenomenal creative for as long as, I've known him.
Yes.
And now has taken a couple of transitional steps, right, in your career and your personal life. So we are going to get all in your business just a little bit.
That's what this season's about.
Yeah,
Full
good, good.
transparency and vulnerability.
100%, 100%.
all of the things.
Good, good. So I love that. I mean, I think they know that I'm very transparent as well. And purpose is that's a sensitive topic for
It
me.
is.
Because it just, it really is why are we here? And I always like to start off any interview or session just asking, do you, Demi Cortez, as you are
Mm-hmm.
today,
Mm-hmm.
not 5 years ago, not 15 years ago, but do you feel as though you are operating within your purpose? And if so, tell us what that purpose is.
So it from what I've also learned to realize is our purpose can change as we grow and as we evolve as people. That's one of the
Mhm.
beauty. That's one of the gifts of us being human. As we grow, things evolve and things change. There was one point where I felt like when I was, doing this esthetician thing, and I'm moving in my purpose. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my,
Mhm.
everything. And spiritual awakening happening, and everything shifted,
Mhm.
and I didn't even understand what that was, what was going on, like the whole
Mhm.
process. And it actually led me to, the avenue where I'm at right now, as far as with the coaching and just being a bigger asset to the community on a deeper and a different level outside of the physical. I did the skin thing, I that was my dream, that was my goal. And I felt like when the time happened and I stepped into it, it's kind of like God said, okay, I've let you have your moment. You've accomplished your dreams.
Mhm.
Then can you follow my path on what I have for you to do at this particular point? And
Yes.
I was like, oh, okay,
You was
okay.
hesitant. Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So transitioning into the coaching and this aspect of the wellness space is completely different. Skin, I know night and day. But being a life coach, and the type of coaching I do is it's not, like the traditional life coaching like yours is, I'm sure as well. It's a different aspect to it. So it
Mhm.
made me come out of my shell even more and be more vulnerable, be more transparent because of the type of situations that we were talking about, the conversations, and it just opened up a whole new layer of myself. So now at this particular point, I feel like I'm walking into my purpose at this because my life is really just starting, honestly,
Mhm.
truly, because of the whole new outlook on life that I have and just the whole new perspective
Mhm.
and the vision of where I see my life going forward,
Yeah.
37 plus, because I'm going to be 37 in like 2 weeks. So in that aspect, it's just starting. So I'm walking into my purpose. I'm learning to walk into my purpose on a totally different level right now.
Yeah. So where were you? Because I always think that's like an amazing part of the story. Like when you heard God's voice saying, that's good. I'm happy for you and all, right?
Yeah.
But we about to pivot. So I just needed you did that. Now that's good. I'm gonna let you be great on that.
Mhm.
But I am going to transition you. And I need to know if you're ready to follow my lead. Like what was there a situation? Was there a dream? Was there a person that, came to you and said, you've helped me so I could see you doing XYZ? Like how did that come to fruition?
So for me, it really happened once I cultivated my relationship with God in general. I've always believed in God. I've always believed in the higher being, but I never had a one-on-one relationship with God. That's what was always missing in my life. So once I kind of like started to cultivate that relationship end of what is it, 25, end of 2023, going into
Mhm.
24, that's when things started to shift and started to change. My passion for aesthetics started to dwindle, and I'm like, what is going on? And
Mhm.
it was one night, I was just in the bed and I was just thinking to myself, and the thought just came into my head, and it was like, okay, it's time to transition. It's time for the next phase of your life. You've done in this season. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm done in this season? Like, what? What
Ain't
is
that
going on?
crazy?
What is going on right now? Like,
Yeah.
how help me process this? So I ran from it. I ran from it for months.
Mhm.
For
Listen,
months.
but you know what? I hear that so much as I'm talking to people.
Yeah.
Even people that are afraid, like just afraid to make the leap.
It's
They
hard.
will say like it's bothering me, or I'm exhausted, or I can't find any peace because of A, B, and C. And it's like
Mhm.
if you would just be obedient, right?
Surrender. Surrender.
But you know what? Jump while you're scared. Like still take the lead. You could be scared, but the doors are going to open for you how they are supposed to.
How they're
And
supposed to.
so that's the thing. That's the biggest part is just, knowing that like that inner voice is going to get louder, louder and
It's
louder and louder until
baby. Being like the feds at the zoo.
that's
And
the one
I'm
I
like, what
won't
is
forget.
going on? I can't even think.
Yeah.
I said, I can't run from it no more. I said, I can't, I got, it's time. I said, it's
Yeah.
time. Hmm.
Oh my
And
God.
it's time, but it's a matter of giving up that control because me, especially me as an alpha male, it's really hard. Well, it was hard for me to give up that control, and just give up that
Mhm.
aspect of my life because I'm surrendering my life to the unknown. Like I don't know how it's gonna play out. I don't know how it's gonna go. Like completely like a deer in headlights. But that's what we have to do when we get to that place of full surrenderance on what God or whatever the higher being or whatever someone else may believe in. Once they
Mhm.
give you that insight and that direction, you have to follow it. Like you have to follow it because the more you try to run from it, the more you try to stall, it's gonna delay the process. It's
Yes,
gonna delay the
yes.
process.
Well, let me ask you this. Now that you mentioned that, do you feel like there was a point of like I'll follow, but I don't know where to start? Like, did you feel like there was any guidance or direction or like just a random door open for you to just be introduced to this new path? Or do you feel like God said, I need you to be a student in this moment? So like this is where I'm planting the seed, and I'm giving you rain. I'm not gonna give you the fruit, right? Like so that's where you're gonna have to be disciplined. Like, do you feel like it was a situation like I'm going to give you the tools now, figure it out, or were doors opening and you like, I just have to go with my gift?
So for me, I feel like everything that's happening and transpired in my life has led up to this very moment.
Mm-hmm.
Me starting a business, being in aesthetics, going to aesthetic school, those previous 6 years that I spent in my aesthetics career, it really opened me up, and it made me open up to people, be more vulnerable with people. And I feel like that was kind of like teetering me into this direction unknowingly based off of the conversation that I would have with some of my clients. You know how we were taught, sometimes it is a therapy session for a lot of us, for sometimes it's very personal and it just opens people up. It opens me up. It opens, my client up, whoever that may be at that particular point. And I feel like he was dropping little droplets at that point. And then, meeting you.
Yeah.
You was also a life coach. You were the first life coach that I met in person who was actually a life coach outside of, Ayanla, you know what I'm saying, who was a
Mm-hmm.
GOAT at life coaching back in the day. But you were like one of the only ones. I never knew what the whole life coaching situation was. And
Mm-hmm.
then, I met you and then I talked about it. And then, I feel like everything else just kind of like started to fall into place once I actually just gave up the control and was like, okay, it's time. This season is over. It's time to transition to another season. So at that point, I was like, okay. So I feel like everything has been leading up to this moment. Now I have to be the student and I have to really learn and really be developed because that's what this whole 6 months of these past 6 months was about. I
Yeah.
closed the business down and was like, okay, we're gonna start the business. I'm gonna jump into it. Had my first little two clients. I'm like, okay, good.
Yeah, that's
And then
amazing.
when those sessions happen,
Yeah.
and it started because you know how it is. Once you coaching with somebody else, with one of your clients, it can a lot of times bring up unresolved traumas within yourself. And that's also what started to happen. I was like, whoa. I said, okay, so let me process this a little bit. I can't
That
just
part.
jump into this. I need to see what's going on. So I took
Yeah.
6 months off. Like I'm just now coming back into the coaching space. I'm just now coming back into social media. I had left social media for a minute. Like I would pop in here and there, but this whole past 6 months have just been studying, have just been pruning, and just been really preparing me for this next phase of my life because I had to go through a lot has happened within these last 6 months
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
had to be built all the way back up into this new version of myself because I'm just meeting this version of myself. Social
Mm-hmm.
media is just meeting this version of myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole new outlook that I'm getting familiar with, that the community is getting familiar with, the new followers are getting familiar with. So this is a whole new person. So I had to go through that phase of becoming. And I'm at that phase of kind of like transitioning out of becoming into purpose. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me one second, Demi. One
Go
second.
ahead. Mm.
Okay. Sorry about that.
You good? We back.
I had a little noise maker in the background. that I did not pay for. That was not the round of applause in the audience or none of the above. So I'm sorry about that. Um, but you said something that I want to lean into, right? Because this is a part of transitioning in life. Like when you
Hmm.
are making a transition, in my mind, I see that as like you were once on a path that all of a sudden it's a tree in the road. All of a sudden the road stops. All of a sudden you got to turn and look at where else, God is directing you, right? And so
Yeah,
you don't have a choice but to put that map down, whatever you thought you had planned,
maybe the whole
whatever,
goal plan
everything
out the
has to
window.
go. And so if you are very much tied to an identity that's built on that path, most people are so scared they stand in place.
Stand in place.
That path not taking you nowhere, but the one that you don't know, you're not familiar with, you scared of, you think you're not good enough, all the imposter syndrome, like everything
Hmm.
is in the other direction, and they stand still.
Because we so you know what I realized and what I've also learned, we're so conditioned to just be comfortable. We
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to be uncomfortable. We don't know how to be
No,
uncomfortable, and we don't want to be uncomfortable because
no.
uncomfortable, like I said, you have to give up that control. Alpha
Mm-hmm.
males and alpha females, that's
Yeah,
hard for them. That was
yeah,
hard for me.
yeah,
It was hard
yeah,
for me. So you have to really be in a vulnerable state and to be able to actually just go left when you know you
yeah.
you know what I'm saying you should be going, or you want to go right. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a lot of courage to
Yes.
do that. That's why it's not for everybody. Like
No.
it's purpose is we all have a goal, we all have a purpose, but not all of us are able to tap into it. But I wish if more of us was able to tap into it,
Mm-hmm.
the world would be such a better place. Like it would be so much
Oh,
more,
yeah.
it would be so much more balanced.
Yeah, something that I learned just through coaching and like having in-depth conversations and not being afraid to ask the tough questions with mentors that I've
Hmm.
had is, what is the one thing you think stands between people and their purpose? And they will always say trust.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you got to be able to trust yourself. I can fight my way out of cave. I can fight my way up
Yeah.
away from a line. I can fight my way, to shore. If I get thrown off a boat, I can fight my way into not just survival, but
Hmm.
into just a new sense of self, right?
Yeah.
If you truly trust yourself, even if you don't know the answer, you're going to figure it out.
Hmm.
You know that you know how to pray, you know how to listen, you know how to ask questions, you know how to
That's
use
it.
the intuition that was given to you. And so if you just trust yourself, you trust yourself more than you're fearful of the outcome. You trust
Hmm.
yourself more than giving up what was comfortable. You trust yourself more than, oh my God, I know I got this, and this bill, and now I can't rely on this. Trust yourself.
Trust. And that's what I had to get to. I didn't I didn't trust myself to make that pivot and make that transition because like I said,
Mhm.
I was so scared. I was nervous, and
Mhm.
then I let everything in the world kind of like consume me to a certain aspect, that the fear of starting over,
Mhm.
I was like, I was like,
Yeah.
starting over. And I was like, and I knew, like, because once I made the decision to go ahead and pivot, like, I knew I was gonna have to make some adjustments lifestyle wise. I
Yeah.
already was prepared for that. But baby,
Starting over is not it's not for the weak, and that's in anything. That's
it's
in
not for the
anything.
weak.
Yeah, it's not for the weak. And I think so often,
Mm-mm.
because it's so uncomfortable, and we don't like being comfortable. Nobody does.
Mm-mm.
We would rather stay where we are, even if we know we're not happy, even if we know it's not
Yeah.
fulfilling, even if like all the things, versus step into something new, be
Unknown.
challenged, grow, like all
Grow,
the things.
develop.
Yeah, and that self-development is so critical, because
It's so
here's what
critical.
I'm learning,
It's
right?
so
And this
critical.
is just in therapy, in coaching, all the things, is that we look at how children have these developmental phases. They should know this by this. They should be functioning like this. But we stop just because somebody 18, we stop.
We stop it.
Nobody's preparing you, nobody's teaching you,
Yeah.
nobody's instilling these things in you.
Nope.
And then however you grew up, whatever your experiences were between birth and 18, Like you just out here winging it. I don't care what nobody
Winging it.
says. You can think you had a good upbringing. Mama taught me this. Daddy showed me that.
Winging it.
You're winging it. You're winging it because you
Hmm.
probably still call mom and daddy for, oh, what do I tell these people? What I say? What I, what do I do? What does mean? You're still learning and growing, and that's okay.
Yep. It's
It's
okay.
okay. It's okay. But what we have to understand about each other is that we're all going through that same thing. We're all still growing, and nobody's helped us through these developmental stages for the
Mm-mm.
most part. And so
Mm-mm.
that is why, working on yourself,
It's so
discovering who
important.
you are is so critical. And don't be stuck on just because, oh, when I graduated, I started this path. If I did what I was doing when I graduated, child, misery. Okay.
Somewhere else completely else. But that's what I love about life coaching, because we step in to help people have that realization, because it's not taught in school. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's a missed mark from what I'm learning and I'm realizing now. It's a totally missed mark. So when we step in and we're able to step in and help people have that realization to
Mhm.
start their healing process and to start their personal development, it's a totally different eye-opening moment, for
Yeah.
people and just even for us as a coach. Because like I say, a lot of
Yeah.
times we realize stuff that we push to the background and that we still need to deal with and we still need to bring to the surface. So
Oh,
it's a constant journey of healing and development that goes on as we continue to get wiser, as we continue to grow and evolve. It's the journey doesn't stop. You just go to more elevated states.
yes, yes. So let me you brought up a good point, right? And you ain't in it alone. Like you said, like as you were working
Mm,
on yourself, you took a hiatus. For anybody who follows my page, there's been gaps in time where you're like, where she at? What's going on? She stopped coaching? Like what's going on? Who's she mad at? It wasn't that, y'all. I promise. As you grow in your career, as you learn more, as you experience more in life,
yes.
anybody, no matter how healthy you are, how happy you are, you can be triggered by something that makes you realize like, that really got under my skin.
Yeah.
And if you know yourself well, then you're gonna know that you're not operating as your best self.
Mm-mm.
And so it's time to dig,
It's time.
right? And so that's something that I teach a lot of clients is you got to know yourself so well that you know when something ain't right.
Right. Yeah.
Something
And
ain't right with me.
when them triggers come up, you got to be able to identify them and be able,
Yes.
okay, I need to look into this. Not just, all right, let me just turn on some music and let me forget about it. Let me have a drink. Let me do, let me mask it. That's one of the major issues. No, we have to deal with it. We have to go through it in order to heal it, in order to evolve. We got
Yeah.
to deal with it. And it's something that our community deals with. It struggle. I feel like our community struggles with so much. We don't like to deal with things. We don't like to
Mhm.
bring up the tough conversations. We just
Yeah.
want to sweep them under the rug, but we have to deal with it. We have to go through
Mhm.
these things in order to evolve as a person. That's the only way it's going to happen. The
Yeah.
only way.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. What do you think was a turning point for you in just self discovery or just doing the inner work? Like, where did you put the stigma aside? Like, when did you say, like, enough is enough? Like, I know I need to work on these things. So I'm gonna put these things to the side so I can focus on me. Like, was there a moment where you're like, these things are distracting me, or did you just feel like, you know what, like I'm about to make a big change and it means so much to me that I
It's
gotta
time.
put some of
Yeah.
this stuff to the side? Like, what was that for you?
Probably the beginning of 2023 when that's when I kind of like slowed down on like the drinking.
Mhm.
I didn't really do like drugs like that too heavy, but I do like a little edible or something here and there. But I really just because I needed full clarity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I needed that clarity, and then I also started working out too. So that discipline in the gym helped me get more
Mhm.
focused and get more clarity as at that point too. But that's kind of
Mhm.
like when it happened, and I was like, okay, I need to kind of like distance myself from a lot of things, persons, people, places, and things while I go through this process because it's going to be a process. It's not going to be an easy process, and I know that. And I have a lot of things that I'm now realizing that I need to work on. Things that I,
Mhm.
wasn't aware of. Things I had pushed to the back burner that I did not want to deal with.
Mhm.
And I needed to go through this time to really work on myself. And it took I'm still going through it, but for the
Yeah.
beginning stages of it, that's kind of like when it started, 2023, like around that part of the transitioning. And like I said, the spiritual awakening is it's not spoke about enough because I didn't
Mm-mm.
know what that was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was experiencing until I started to go through the motions and I started to feel things and do more research. And I'm like, why the heck is this not discussed? Like, I had no idea what a spiritual awakening was, but it's a powerful process that a lot of people go through. When they don't know they're going through it, they just feel like their life is crashing down because it can be caused from anything, a
Yeah.
traumatic experience, loss of a job, breakup, whatever the case may be. But it sends you on this journey of truly finding yourself, and that's the beautiful part about it because you're able to strip away all the facades and all the masks and all the things that you've learned from childhood growing up and your peers and stuff like that to get back to the core of what's important to you and who you are. And
Yes.
that journey is it's it's so powerful. Like it's emotional, it's
Okay.
draining,
Okay. I was
it's
about to say let's stick
impacting.
with powerful because the other adjectives I would use ain't that great. It ain't that
But
great.
once you're going through it, like the realizations, and the insight that you're able to obtain and the clarity, that's the powerful and the beautiful part about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm seeing things in a totally different light compared to how I used to see things, and
Mhm.
it's just completely different. But that's when it transitioned for me.
Do you feel like you know who you are now?
I'm learning who I am at this stage of my life. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
good.
for a long time I functioned out of when I was in my early 20s, I created Demi Cortez. He was
Hmm.
my safe space. You know what I'm saying? He was the person that shielded the real me from the world. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
that was who everybody knew, who everybody met, but I didn't really let people in and certain people, you know what I'm saying? Like certain people, but as far as like the masses, they
Hmm.
didn't really have an idea of who I genuinely was because that person was shielded and covered for so long. So now that I've, gone through this process of relearning myself and re-identifying with myself, I'm learning myself on a whole nother level right now. So you know, it's it's a journey, but
Yeah.
I'm coming back to the essence of who I was. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be the tough guy. I don't have to, have my guard up all the time. I don't have to be super protective. I can be vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? I can, tap into my feminine side a little bit because that's where the logic lies. I ran from the masculine energy I operated in my masculine energy for so long, being a black gay male, just having to deal with a lot of things coming up that
Mhm.
that energy fueled my life, but it also weighed me down. It weighed me
Yes.
completely down. So I'm in my soft era right now. I'm learning myself, I'm being vulnerable and
Mhm.
transparent, and it feels good. So I'm learning myself at this stage of my life.
I love that because I feel like that's a continuous journey, right?
It
And so
is.
many people think they have to have it figured out because, oh, I'm
Child.
35, I gotta have this, or think about all the things we say we're gonna do at 25, or
At
by 30, I'm
18.
gonna have this, and it's like you have no idea how life about to whoop your ass. And so stop thinking you got it all figured out, and your timeline is the most realistic thing because
Hmm.
life is gonna put you in a bottle and shake you up, and so that's
Yes.
okay though. Like that's okay. I think the self-discovery piece, that's what coaching is about, right? But that's
Hmm.
also what therapy is about. That's what doing the inner work is about, so that you can identify traumas that you need to heal from, disappointments.
Hmm.
And the trauma can be an experience of something that happened, and it can be something that has not happened. Something that was missing can be a trauma
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm.
And so it's like as you really start to do the inner work, you start to really discover, what are my boundaries, and
Yeah.
why, what are the things that make me feel loved, why, what are the
Why?
things that make me
Asking,
feel
learning
alone,
to
why.
ask that question, why, was the most powerful for me.
Yes,
Why am I
yes.
thinking this way? Why do I
Hmm.
operate this way?
Yes.
Why? Why? Like,
Yeah.
it's a mixed question, but once you really dive into it, it really
Mhm.
helps you along that journey. That's like the most powerful question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. We have to get curious about ourselves, right?
Yeah,
Or we continue to fall into these situations, experiences, relationships where we're
child, a
just
cycle.
we're just a shell and we don't recognize that there's these cycles of attracting people who do or don't care about us deep at the soul level, attracting people who, I don't know, got mama issue, daddy issues, self-identity issue, like all the things. And they feet stuck in cement, and so
Literally,
we end up
ain't
being
going
with people
nowhere.
who aren't going anywhere, and
Mhm,
trying to force them, right? Like, and it's like, you
mhm.
worry about you. I gotta worry about I gotta worry
Yep.
about me. So I love that you're still like humbly in this phase of like,
Oh yeah.
I'm walking in my purpose. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, but I am not leaving myself behind. Like, so you have still found a way to put yourself first and make
Hmm.
sure that you have time. And then you mentioned something I want to, dive a little bit deeper into, which was about you felt this pressure, like as a black man, to just operate in full masculinity, right? So in some
Hmm.
ways that was how you guarded or shielded yourself because of, maybe the stigma or just the judgment or whatever the case may be. um Tell me, like, when did you really start to prioritize like your mental health? Because I'm sure, like you said, that heaviness, it weighs you
It's a
down.
lot.
It adds maybe some level of like anxiousness or anxiety or depression.
Child,
But
all
like,
of
how
that.
do you? Okay, okay. And I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, right? But I'm just like, tell me,
All of
like,
that.
how did the past you handle mental health, and then compare the past you to the Demi now. Like, how does Demi now handle or prioritize mental health that maybe the past kind of like prepared you or pushed you to this place?
The past me, I I knew what mental health was, but I didn't necessarily know which outlets to take. The past me, it was the
Okay.
drinking, it was the partying, promiscuity, it was all of the things. But once I started to grow up and kind of like explore a little bit more and just get wiser, around like 28 and 20, I think around 28 is when I first went to therapy because me and my mother wasn't speaking for like a period of time. And I
Okay.
started going to therapy for that aspect. And I was like, okay, there's something to this therapy stuff. And it kind of like started to make me think more. And
Mm-hmm.
then once this whole spiritual awakening situation happened, it just sent me on a whole new journey of, just really understanding mental health on a totally different level, and just really
Mm-hmm.
understanding myself, the way I think, certain ways that I act, and, certain things that trigger me and how to deal with them differently. So now, it's a lot of meditation is really big for me right now. I've even started doing guided meditations for other people to kind of like help them out in the same way because that's what helped me out. But meditation, I started doing a little bit of yoga. Breath
Mm-hmm.
work is really important to me right now. Just really learning to regulate my nervous system. That's something
Yeah.
I knew nothing about. But it's so important, when you deal just with day-to-day activities, but when you are dealing with heaviness of the world or you just got a lot on your mind,
Mm-hmm.
just sitting still for a minute, meditating, just sitting in silence, no phones, no noise, no nothing, just being with yourself in that moment. Just a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't even know how to be with themselves in peace and quiet. Like they need some type of energy, they need something going on. But learning those new practices help really ground me and just put me in a different perspective, which also just led to more enlightenment as far as, like the journey that I'm on, leading me on the right path and just making better and wiser decisions. I'm not making the same dumb decisions I was making when I was 24 and 25. Like I stopped
Mm-hmm.
drinking for like a whole year, to really just give myself clarity to process all these feelings and emotions and this new version of myself because it was a lot to take in. So I needed like full clarity. So now I'm making healthier choices. You know, I'm not just overindulging on the worldly things anymore. It's I'm older now, so we got to make wiser decisions. Like, Sean, we can't be doing the same thing we was doing at 22. Like,
I mean,
when
we
you
could.
know better, you do better.
I mean, we could, but we, like you said, but
Sean,
but we know better. We know
once you get
better.
to it, once you get to that point of really understanding your purpose, understanding what you're here to do, and how beautiful the world is outside of the noise and the extraness, you
Mm-hmm.
don't even want to indulge in half the things that you used to want to indulge. Because when I tell you, everything has shifted in my life as far as like,
Everything. The things you used to
Everything.
like, you don't like no more. People used to be around. You can't.
Everything has shifted. And
Yeah.
it's that pruning and that stage of just becoming like it's,
It's a lot, but
it's a
I
lot.
love your honesty around it because most people brush over it as though it's not a big deal, and it really
Oh,
is
baby, it
because
is.
you become a different person. You don't recognize yourself in the mirror. You don't know how to navigate the friendships you once had. You
You
don't know
know,
if you're in the right relationship no more, especially if that person not on board and they not doing the work. It will feel like it's so much easier to just go back to the way that it was, but you don't even have a desire to do
you
that no
only have,
more
and that was
because
the
you're in a
hard
in
part.
between. Yeah.
That in between stage, because it's like, you know what, the hell with this. I don't have time. This is too much. Like, let me just go back to what I'm what
Yep.
I'm used to. But then when you try to go back, it's like it doesn't even feel the same. So it's like, yeah, let me go on back over here and try this again. It's
Yes.
because you it's like your whole taste buds just changed. Like it's just
Rightfully so, as they should, as they should. Because when this
yeah,
changes up here, I mean that controls how you move. It should,
yeah.
unless you have zero self discipline, right? So that's
Some people
just,
do, Sean.
well, those are the ones that need our help. So we just got to put ourselves out there a little bit more. Because sometimes people don't believe they need help. Sometimes people don't believe they need to heal. Sometimes people
They
can
don't.
see everything that you do wrong and never
No
anything that
accountability.
they do. And so you got to leave people to self discover sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and to reflect and to start seeing themselves in cycles over and over again, and then they seek the
Wake
help,
up.
right? But you can't force somebody to become
Mm-mm. You
anything. I
can't.
don't care what you
And a lot of
say.
times with just being around us or people that are more enlightened as far as in the mental space, it can rub off on people because that was also like I've had clients who are way more enlightened and in tune with just want themselves, and that rubbed off on me. That made me think a little bit differently. Like, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So being around certain people can also, once you get to that place
Yeah.
of able to be around certain situations, because there was a point where when I was going through my process that I couldn't be around certain places, people, and things because it was just too triggering for me. So
Yes.
I had to remove myself because I'm like, yeah, I can't. Like I can't. So once you get to a place where you're comfortable enough, you can go back and be around certain environments and stuff like that, and then it can, that energy can rub off, and hopefully help them to their healing
Hmm.
journey or guide them on their healing journey. But yeah, we can't force anyone. Like you have to make the conscious decision that you're ready to evolve as a person. That's where it starts at. Like you have to make that conscious decision.
It's
Like I
Yep.
can't tell you, your mama can't tell you, social media can't tell you. You have to make that. You have to come to that realization yourself.
Yeah, because social media it will have you making four left turns, and you're gonna think you went somewhere. You at the same intersection
Same
that you
spot.
same spot. Keep on listening to who is it? Justin LaBoy.
Just
Keep on. Keep listening to him in spiritual word, and they don't post no spiritual words. Keep on, because I'm telling you, you're gonna make four left turns and think you're doing
and
something.
be looking
And
silly 5 years
here,
later, wondering why you sit in the same spot.
social media is powerful though, because it is
So powerful.
designed to influence and entertain. And
And keep
so
us
if you
distracted.
if you don't find the right things to digest up here on your threads, and whatever you're looking at, I don't care what, if
Hmm.
you're on threads, TikTok, X, whatever
Whatever.
you're on, if you're digesting the wrong things, the healing process doesn't sound appealing at all, and
Uh-uh.
you'll see all kind of quotes that agree with you. They agree
Hmm.
with you, so you think that that's just how it goes. You'll think that, like, what's the little phrase? I can't stand it. Let people do what they want to do, so you'll see what they rather. No, no, no. Sometimes people don't have the capacity to do nothing else. They're doing it because they don't have the capacity
They don't
to
have the
do anything
capacity.
else, or the ability. You got to learn it to be able to do it, and if you ain't learned it, you don't have the ability.
You don't have the ability. And you got to be prepared to step outside that box that they have us in. Because, try that box they got us in. It's tight. And they try and keep us in that box.
Okay, so let me ask you this, black man.
Mhm.
I don't care what, I don't care how much money you make. I don't care what your occupation is, like all the things. Why do you think it's important for a black man to focus on self-improvement or doing the inner work, however you want to word it? I mean, because I see them as two different things, but
Yeah.
why do you think it's important for black men to do that, mentioning that box you said that we are placed in a lot?
So for black men in general, especially for, I can speak from my community, coming up in the urban community where, a lot of times we're taught that one, we have to be tough. We can't show our
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable side. We got to make sure we go and get the things to make us feel like a man, the car, the luxury car, the big house, and all of the things. So we're programmed at a young age to seek out all of these things, and before you
Mm-hmm.
know it, you going through life and trying to function, and you don't even know who you are. You don't know what you're striving to achieve in life. You don't know what the goal is, or what's your purpose, or what you even doing certain things for. So
Mm-hmm.
it's super important when you are when you are able to get in a space to really just get clarity on your goal, your vision, and what you really want to do. Because it's so many. I've met so many black men
Mm-hmm.
who are just functioning. They don't have any idea what they want to do in life. They
Mm-hmm.
just want to make money. That's all I hear. I just want to make money. I want to get my people out of the hood. I want to do, which is totally fine. Which is totally fine. But what's the bigger picture outside of that? When you get to a place of being one with yourself, like true happiness starts from the inside first. All the exteriors is just extra, but
Yeah.
you can't even sit with yourself and be happy with yourself in
Mm-hmm.
that moment because you're so consumed with the world and trying to do X, Y, and Z because we've been programmed.
Yeah.
We literally been programmed since we were born. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's super important for guys and black men in general to seek out, extra help, just because of the simple fact that also that it's already a target on our back in general. Anyway, it's
Mm-hmm.
already a target on our back. So we
Yeah.
have to we have to take those extra steps to show up differently and to do things differently. We don't have to not every black man want to play sports and want to be a football player and want to be a basketball player. There are other avenues, but again, they're box because
Yeah.
it's the only thing we know that's gonna get us to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
There's other avenues. There's the different areas that you can go into, but you have to be willing to do the work, and you have to be ready to mentally start doing the healing process, going through the healing process.
Yeah.
And you have to
Yeah.
surround yourself with positive minded people. Your environment is so important. You know what I'm saying? And it keeps a lot of us stuck. It keeps friends, environment, the whole situation. It keeps a lot of us stuck in that mode because, like you said, we don't know any better. But once you do start to, go to therapy, get a life coach, start listening to some educational podcasts outside of the shade room and, media takeout, like you learn, you start to you start to realize it's more out here. It's more out here. And
It's
ATL
more the
School.
world star out here. I swear. I
It's a little bit
swear.
more. It's a little bit more. It's a
Oh
little
my
bit
God.
more. So it's super important, and that's why I take what I'm doing and just my platform and my messaging so important. I take it so seriously now because I know what the mission is. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than me. For one,
Yeah.
it's much bigger than me. And even if I can just connect with one person and get them to have a different outlook or, think about things a little differently, it starts with thinking. We don't even think. We just act as men. We just act. Like I said, a lot of us function in our masculine energy. So we just go off of emotion and just what's gonna get the job done. Hustle culture. But a lot of black men aren't in tune with their feminine side, or you know what I'm saying. They don't know about emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Emotional regulation. They don't know how to process that. You know what I'm saying. So it's super important to get in therapy and go through those cycles of being vulnerable and being transparent because it's needed. That's how you build a stable relationship. That's why half the fucking relationships are going up the wall because men don't know how to regulate their emotions. They're
Yeah.
all over the place,
Yeah. Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
it's super important.
let me ask you this. You mentioned earlier that you feel a lot of men don't even know what they want to do with their lives.
Hmm.
Do you think it's truly they don't know what they want to do, or they're embarrassed to say what they want to do because, like you said, there's no safe space to be like if I say I want to open an art gallery, are they gonna laugh at like what you know about art? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it a situation where there's a stigma around the type of jobs because you got to be a provider, you
Definitely.
got to be a protector, you got to be this, you got to look this way to the people that you live around or grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Because my understanding is that um, from a very young age, a lot of young boys are not encouraged at all to be vulnerable.
We're
Like,
not.
stop that crying. Don't nobody care. Or you're not able to have a voice, right? You
Yeah,
just
you're
can't
not.
have a voice. It is, this is how boys are. This is how young man is. Now you grown out. This is how men operate. And there's no raising or rearing. There's no guidance or, opportunities to be exposed to more.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just a shortage, right? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
see so many young men doing the same things and having the sheep mentality because where were our OGs?
Leaders.
Where were our community leaders? Where were our, dads and uncles and all of those things,
Yeah.
to guide us and give us those opportunities early on? Because, there's plenty of opportunity out here. It's not a shortage of jobs. Everywhere you go, it's a hiring sign.
Yeah.
But we have a generation, right, that you said does not know what they want to do. So
Yeah.
where would you say the disconnect starts with the comfort to identify, like, who am I, what do I want to do with my life, or just where do we find the comfort to explore as a man?
Like you said, it starts in the household. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of guys aren't coming up. They're not raised to be vulnerable and explore their creativity and explore those areas. For
Mm-hmm.
me, it was a little different because I've been gay since I came out, and I was, even though I didn't fully come out, I think my family still kind of had an idea, and then I was
Okay.
raised by all women for the most part,
Okay.
so I was able to be vulnerable and expressive, and you know what I'm saying. I had a fucking parrot when I was a kid. I was like the only kid in the hood who had a parrot. You know what I'm saying? So
That
I was
don't
able.
mean you gay. It's plenty of people with
No,
birds.
no, no. I'm not talking about the gay aspect, but
Oh,
I'm just
oh,
saying, you know how I.
okay. I was about to say, now wait a minute now. Now
No,
wait a
I'm
minute
just
now,
saying
because
in that
diversity.
aspect, like it
Okay.
allowed me to be creative and explore different avenues. You know what I'm saying? In that lane. And like I say, I was super expressive as a kid. Like I always said what I wanted to say. It was when I got 17, 18-ish is when I started to reserve myself a little bit more because I was now introducing this essence of myself to the world that I did not want to kind of like take me under. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's, I think, like you said, it starts at a younger age where the most guys aren't given that creative space to explore different
Mm-hmm.
avenues outside of the box of being the masculine guy or, just doing X, Y, and Z. And, once you get to a space of truly understanding yourself or just being around different people,
Yeah.
you're able to explore different avenues. But like I said, a lot of us they sit stuck in that box and then they don't want to go or drift off from any other avenues because they're scared of what people may say, how people
Mm-hmm.
may be perceived, and the whole situation. So it definitely starts, like you said, like coming up and
Mm-hmm.
not being given that space to explore themselves and just be vulnerable and just see what all is out here outside of just what we see on a daily basis.
Okay. I love that. I love that. So I have one last question for you. What advice, or a two-parter. Let me do that. Let me
Hmm.
do a two-parter because we just talked about the environment that we failed to create for young boys becoming men. What advice would you give to parents of a young man, to help them to really start self-discovering and finding confidence in whoever it is they discover? And then the second part would be, what advice would you give to the young man that is uncomfortable with unpacking like that inner work, or just unpacking that self improvement or those triggers, like just mental health overall. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
advice? The second part, what advice would you give to the young man who is uncomfortable with just the thought
Expressing himself and
of thinking below the surface? Right. I'm just gonna show you who I want you to see, and I don't even know what's out. You ask me how I feel, I don't even know. I'm gonna say I'm good because I don't know
I don't
what this
know.
feeling is, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
they'll say numb. I'm numb. So I've
Baby,
heard
that
that
numb is
more
a
than I might.
that's a real thing.
Yeah. Yep.
So for
Numb.
the parents, I would tell them, or I would definitely encourage them to communicate with their kids. A lot of parents don't communicate effectively with their kids. They don't listen to their kids. It's always, okay, I know what's best. This is what's going on. Which, granted, to at a certain degree, that's how it should be. But once your kid reaches around between 7, 8, they're able to start processing their own thoughts. At some point, you have to start listening to what your kids are actually saying to you. Because a lot of time, your kids are saying things to you, but you may be occupied, you may be busy, or you may not really fully be hearing what they're trying to say,
Mm-hmm.
and that can really make or break the upbringing of a child. Because if a child feel like they can't confide into their parents as far as how they're truly feeling or what they're truly going through,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to the streets. I'm gonna go to
Okay.
friends. I'm gonna go to other people. I'm gonna go to other, other entities to find that safety and that a bit that space to be vulnerable because I don't have it at home. So I would
Yeah.
definitely say just communicate and listen to your kids effectively just to really see what's going on with them. Because when we grew up, it's totally different now. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's shit, it's harder being a kid now. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's harder. Like because
Yeah.
it's so much
Pressure.
more now. Like it's just it's so much. It's so you can't even it's so much more. So you
Yeah.
really have to be open and communicative with your kids to understand what's going on, how they're feeling, helping them process their emotions, getting them in therapy early if it's needed to help them navigate. So once they do become an adolescent and a teen and a young man, they already have the emotional intelligence to know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To not be molded and shielded by their peers and peer pressure and stuff like that. Okay, y'all want to go and do this? That's not resonating with me. I'm gonna go over here. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
you have to be trained to think that way because a lot of us aren't. I wasn't trained to think that way. You just okay, your friends going this way, you go that way. You do what your friends doing. That's how I was brought up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as the kid who's trying to find that inner voice or just kind of like get that understanding of who he is, I would definitely say start journaling first. Journaling definitely helped. I had a diary when I was in like middle school. So
Mm-hmm.
journaling definitely started to help. And
Mm-hmm.
then also look out for support groups. Like it's a lot of support groups, even if you don't feel like you have that assistance at home.
Mm-hmm.
Look out for support groups. Now with the internet and social media and the phones, it's easy to find groups, Facebook groups, other people, use your discernment to know, right from wrong. But
Mm-hmm.
start journaling and look out for support groups that resonate with how you may be feeling. Because
Yeah.
this you at a explore you at a space where you're exploring your identity right now. So it's gonna be a lot of things coming at you left and right. So just explore safely, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Explore those avenues because you never know where that avenue may lead you. And it's not even just talking about just being a guy, but that's also in regards to sexuality. They can stop a lot of the bisexualness and the downloadness that's going on a lot of times if you are able to
Mm-hmm.
resonate with how you're truly feeling and be comfortable in that space. So start journaling, start getting into some therapy. It's never too early, I don't think, to start therapy and find support groups that, resonate with who you are and who you identify as because a lot of times we lack community as guys. We don't have that safe space to go and talk to this friend about that or talk to this person. A lot of us don't have that. So, try to find a community that makes you feel welcome and safe and,
Mm-hmm.
allow you to express yourself.
Okay. I love that. I love that. So to all the fellas out here, any guys that are listening, playing it back, Demi, tell them one thing they can do to be a mental health supporter of one of their friends. Like, what's one thing they can do or say to let a friend know mental health is important? Your mental health is important. Like, what's one thing you would want your friends to say?
Honestly, just I'm here for you. because a lot of times, like I say, we don't have guys don't have that community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't feel like they can express themselves authentically. So just say, yo, you my dog, whatever you're going through, I'm here for you, I'm a shoulder. Just reiterate that to them because a lot of times people don't know that. People
Yeah.
don't know that I can talk to you about this. People don't know I can be safe with you in this moment. So just express that, yo, I'm here for you, whatever's going on. I'm a shoulder, we can talk, just be there, be a listener and listen without judgment. Because a lot of times you don't need the extra judgment. You just want someone to listen to you and help you process your thoughts a lot of the time. So it's just be a listening ear without judgment. That's what I would say.
Oh, child. I learned that in a relationship. He was like, I don't need you to coach. I don't need you to encourage. Listen, I
Just
just
listen.
listen. Listen to the problem. You ain't gonna solve it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Just listen.
It's
And I
hard.
felt I felt so bad though because it is just in my nature to what can I do to help? Have you thought about it like this? What about these things? You know what I mean? Like, okay, who said that? Who gave them authority? Like, I'm asking questions, you know what I mean? And then
Whole deep dive.
but I didn't realize
How that come
in a
across.
moment where I just need to get it out as a man, you asking me about all these things, just let me get through the story. Let me get to the end. And then because it's like the annoying person in the movie theater, like, girl, the story is still going
But you
on.
a natural fixer. You a natural fixer though. You know what I'm saying? And that's who you are as at a core. The same with me. We're natural fixers and we're natural problem solvers. We want to help and then we're helpers. We just
Yeah,
want to help and help God. But a lot of times we just need to listen. That's
yeah,
it. Take the coaching hat off for a minute and just to listen. Go ahead, baby.
yeah,
Get out what you need to get out.
yep.
And
And
then if they ask for that feedback, then I can interject.
you got to
If they
open the
ask.
door. Otherwise, I'm just listening. I'm just listening. I mean, and I will say this, something that I learned or that I've been learning, and this ain't about me, but this is about in relationship with men,
Yeah.
is asking a question, and they may not have an answer, but saying like, how can I support you in this moment? Like,
Hmm.
what does support look like when you're going through a tough time or you have a hard day or you don't seem like yourself? Is there anything, I can do? And that's just
Yeah.
opening it up. Because sometimes I was in the habit of like, well, what can I take off your plate? And it may not be anything I can do to fix.
Fix
I
that.
may not be able to own it. I mean, I used to get mad. You don't never let me help. And he's like, what you want to change the tire? Like, I'm not understanding like what you
But I
and
had I
he
had
would
to get
have
to
to
that
remind
place.
me though.
Yeah.
That was a good reminder for me that like I can't treat a man how I would want to be treated, right? Like I don't mind. You can ask me 99 questions because
Some men.
we're gonna drag this story tonight. If you leave it up to me, we're gonna drag it, and then I don't want to talk about it no more because we done talked about it to death. But men are not wired that way,
Hmm.
and like having a vocal partner, even though at times we would clash, we will butt heads, all the things, I don't think I realized the power in just how much he was teaching me. As reluctant as I was, I'm like, he being so mean. He don't want me to do nothing. Like, I mean, I felt totally pushed away, right? But in hindsight, now thinking about it, it was even if I can't tell
Understanding.
you how to show up, you got to understand in this
Hmm.
moment, I'm not, just give me the space to not know. Give me the
Hmm.
space to just be quiet. Like, I'll come back. You ask the question. If you give me the safe space, I'll come back around and explain more
Hmm.
or tell you the next time or verbalize it a different way.
Hmm.
But you can't jump out the window, Nick. I used to, baby,
I
parachute. I'm jump
I was
like
I
I
was
used
I
to
was
jump.
I was the same. But see, my thing was I didn't know how to ask those questions. I
Yeah.
didn't know how to ask. Okay, well, what you need, or you seem different. So is there something bothering you? I used to be so numb and just so self-absorbed that I didn't even know how to ask those type of questions. And that's why I
Yeah.
knew I had to work on my emotional intelligence because it was a place that I was lacking, especially when it came to relationships. Because I
Mhm.
didn't see the I didn't even see those red flags like you would see to know to ask that. You know, what I'm, I didn't
Mhm.
even child. I didn't even ask. I didn't even see to ask that. I was
Oh,
just like, okay, he in a mood, so he'll be all right tomorrow. Like it wasn't even this. I wasn't mature enough. But
Yeah.
see, going through this journey, I'm able to see and look back on, okay, you know, it's kind of fucked up, which is how you operated in that situation. But like I say, I was from the outside looking in. I can see clearly now, you know what I'm saying, on
Yeah.
ways and how things kind of like played out and how they can play out differently now that I've matured a little bit and got a little more, you know, a little more wise in the situation. But that was something I definitely had to learn. But it's certain guys who are willing to have those conversations in those spaces. But
Mhm.
yeah, for most guys, they probably just need a minute to process, and then now we can, you know what I'm saying, we can get into it.
You know what? I battle a lot with that because, my natural nature is, a communicator. I want to work through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that most people have to feel safe. Some of us, we're gonna say it and it can land, it can flop, it can whatever. You don't have to like it, you can love it. Like those are
Yeah.
the things, right? Because we were just always taught to use our voice. Then
Mm-hmm.
there are other people who grew up where your voice didn't mean anything to anybody.
Yeah.
And then even when you were vocal, nobody cared, nobody moved.
Nobody can. Mm-hmm.
No, they wouldn't tap a toe, wouldn't stand up, wouldn't clap. Like, so when you have that kind of upbringing or that level of support where people are unmoved by
Mm-hmm.
moments where you should be celebrated, moments where you need to be supported, moments where you really need people to show up and have your back. When
Mm-hmm.
you are in those environments and the people closest to you are that way, you don't
It's
have any
hard.
reason to believe somebody you just met or you 4 months into a relationship. Why would I think they care?
Mm-hmm.
You just called me rat, dog, hog when you got mad, right? Like, and so now you want me to be vocal after you done drug me. And for a lot of men, I'm learning like it is like I can't don't even think I'm gonna be vulnerable if you don't feel safe. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing that most people don't understand is you don't get to decide that you're safe. The other person does.
They have to decide.
And
Mm-hmm.
so, how you show up, it has to be genuine. You have to give people room and understand that people have different past experiences, different traumas, different boundaries. And
Mm-hmm.
then we all have different thresholds of like what makes me feel safe with this person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it ain't no way you can fake that. I
Mm-mm, you
either
can't.
feel it genuinely or I don't. And I'm
Same with
getting
me.
yeah, and I'm getting to a place where now I just open the door for people and say you can talk to me about anything, and just know that stays between us. But I want you to know that you got a place here. Now, don't come back 3 weeks later and ask me about because I ain't gonna remember. I got too much going on. I'm not gonna you ain't gotta worry about me telling nobody that I'm not gonna remember. I can promise you that.
That's where I'm
Um
at too, though. Like I'm in a space to where I'm taking myself out of the situation and opening myself up for other people to also just be totally transparent and vulnerable as well. You know what I'm saying? I always felt
yeah.
like I was a safe space. A lot of people naturally gravitate and just like to tell me certain things. So
Hmm.
when it comes to relationships now, because I'm, being more open and stuff like that and more transparent, I'm allowing, my partners, just being transparent out the gate, like this is what's going on. This is where I am right now in my life. Anything you want to discuss, it's an open book. You know what I'm saying? There's no
Hmm.
secrets. Like, so because I want you to be comfortable, I want you to be safe, and I want you to feel like I give a damn about what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And what you have to say in this moment. So that's really powerful. And I had to get to that state as well because I wasn't there neither. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's a good character trait to have, especially when it comes to relationships, because it opens up the communication. You know what I'm saying? It keeps the flow going. So
Yep.
you need to have that. Emotional intelligence is so important. I swear.
I'm still growing in mine
It's
because
we
I'm
all are.
very I'm impulsive, right?
We
Like
all
so
are.
once I feel something or I'm triggered by something, it could be a trigger of excitement or whatever. Like I will, oh my God, like I'm gonna jump through the phone, right? Because that's my level of excitement. Sometimes I'm more excited about people's, achievements and stuff than they are, and I know that in a way I gotta dial it back,
Yeah.
but
That's
at
just
the
who you
same
are.
token. I listen, I'm gonna celebrate the small things, the big things, like all the things because um you never know. Somebody probably grew up with one hand clapping the crowd on graduation day, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so I always look at it as, if you trust me enough to be close to you to share something like that, what we doing to celebrate? What's going on? You treat yourself lunch? Let me send you a little lunch money, or I'm gonna send you a little bottle of wine or whatever. Like, because that's all, that might be all I have the capacity to do, but I want you to know it does mean something to me. I'm a pause in whatever I got going on to
Yeah.
celebrate you, because we don't give each other flowers enough. And I
We don't.
really do believe that if we did that more, if we showed up more, we checked in more, especially on the strong friend, the quiet friend. Hey, Charles, especially on the quiet friend, check on the quiet friend, the one who don't come to everything, the one who be like, I just be working all the time. Check on them,
Child.
because everybody is going through something. I'm not kidding.
No,
Everybody is. I
seriously.
guarantee you, you can ask anybody, when last time you had a hard day, when last time you was frustrated, like when last time something didn't go right, when the last time somebody stabbed you in the back, any of those things, right? And we can
Hmm.
all give a scenario or a situation. So we have to be gentle with one another and know, like, the world don't revolve around us. Everybody ain't acting funny
Hmm.
because of something you did. Sometimes people really going through stuff.
Just going through stuff. Yeah.
And for the men, I'm just gonna say this one time, and then we gonna, I'm gonna see if Demi got any last words. For the men, I really want y'all to be more vocal about what you need,
Hmm.
from whom, and to know that it's okay to ask for what you need. If you're not getting what you need, don't just go out here randomly and start messing over different situations, or women or men or whoever.
Yeah.
Um, Ask for what you need, and if you're not going to get it from that person, part ways.
Yeah.
Change behavior, and distance teaches a very big lesson for people who think that they have provided you with love and support and encouragement and all those things. And I'm not saying ghost nobody. What I'm saying is, be very clear, right, on what you need from a person, what your boundaries are, what you will and won't accept, all the
Hmm.
things. Because if you give that when you're comfortable or upfront,
Yeah.
then people get to choose. They get to choose how to show up for you. They get to choose to communicate back if they have the capacity or
The
the ability
capacity
to
to.
support you in that way. And then they get to also say, okay, well, here are my boundaries, or this is what I need as well. And if we just had sometimes those very transparent, maybe even uncomfortable conversations,
Hmm.
then, like, I just think that we could have better
Better relationships in
as a
general.
whole. As a
Yeah.
whole, let's stop with the sugarcoating. Let's stop with the pretending. When you meet somebody, if you value yourself and your time, be transparent. I challenge
Just
y'all
be
to do
transparent.
that.
That's
Yeah,
something
and
that
then
I
seek
that
that
I'm learning.
seek help. If you don't
Yeah.
know how to verbalize what you need, you don't know what you need. I really want y'all, fellas, please find
Seek help.
a very good counselor or therapist. There are men's group at most churches where they get together, they talk about
Facebook
men stuff,
groups.
Facebook groups, all kinds of things. There are so many different companies that are like a directory for therapists around the
Hmm.
world, and you can do it virtually. You don't have to be uncomfortable
And
in.
it's okay to ask for help. Like, oh my
Yeah, it's
gosh, it's
okay.
okay to ask for help. I know, most guys, we think we can do it all, we can handle it all, but you can't. Uh,
Yeah,
You can't. Like,
no,
it's impossible.
yeah.
At some point, we all need some form of help. That's something that I had to learn. That was
Mhm.
a big learning pill that I'm
Yeah.
baby. Because I did it all. I was gonna handle it all. Demi was
Mhm.
gonna make everything happen, X, Y, and Z. And God
Yeah,
said, "Nah, we need to hear that. We need to hear that." I said,
yeah,
"Oh," and
yeah.
he took me through the ringer. Like,
I'm glad. I'm glad. I hope he keep doing it, because you ain't listening. You ain't listening. Halfway. Keep asking. Keep pressing on him, Lord. Keep putting that thumb down on him.
baby, he got me in a chokehold.
Good. Good. Because here's what I want us to all gather, right? Is that growth is going to be uncomfortable. It just
Hmm.
is. And you got to know that when you have a calling on your life, you got purpose that you're not fulfilling, you're going to be made uncomfortable. I don't care what you do. You can think you turn in a corner, what I say earlier. You finna make 4 left turns.
Still in the same spot,
You got to
looking
stop. You got to
crazy.
stop. Sometimes it's okay to just surrender and do the work. you might have to sit down and do a little timeout, quiet period for a little bit
Yeah.
to learn who you are, what this new path is all about. Learn, explore some of your gifts, right? Because some
Hmm.
of you
That's
have
what that time is for.
extraordinary gifts, right? And we can't sit in silence long enough to really unpack that because
Mm-mm.
we're so used to the chaos, the noise, all the things that's going
Hmm.
on. Then half of us need something to go to sleep, because we won't even we won't sit down and wind down before we go to bed. And I know a lot of men that are like that, like a lot of men, right? So some of them, I ain't gonna get into it. I ain't gonna get into it. We ain't going there. This is about us moving forward and seeking the support and the help we need so that we can stop the coping, right? Because
Stop the
coping,
coping.
let's be sure, let's be real clear.
And masking
Coping is
other
a
feelings. Yeah.
yeah,
It's time, guys. It's really time to be transparent. It's time to be authentic. This is a time where we really have the opportunity to really be a voice for the community, be a voice for the people. But we have to do it from authentic, like from authenticity. Like we have to
yeah,
be and be just be transparent in the moment. Like I know it's hard.
yes,
Coming from me, it's very hard being vulnerable and transparent, especially when you live your life a certain way for so long. But
mm-hmm.
it's so free. It's so fucking freeing. Like just being just
Mm-hmm.
just being free, and
Mm-hmm.
just going for a walk, and you know what I'm saying, just taking a moment of stillness. So many guys don't even know what a moment of stillness mean. They don't know. Never had it.
Mm-hmm.
Never had it.
No, because you're on go. You too busy
Don't
trying to make something happen at all times,
can't
and you
even.
don't take. That's not taking care of yourself, though, fellas. Like
It's
it's
not.
not.
It's not. And it's a torpedo effect because it affects your girlfriend, your wife. It affects the kids. It's a trickle. It just is another cycle that started. We have to break the cycles. We have to break the cycles. We are in 2025. And we
Yeah,
see what the hell is going on in the world right now. We have to break the cycles. We have
yeah,
to. Hmm.
yeah.
It's time.
Okay. Well, I definitely
This
listen.
was good.
I want to give you an opportunity,
This was good.
to share. If you want to give a final word of encouragement to anybody that is listening or going to play this back in regards to using their gifts or purpose discovery, or
Mm,
overcoming that stigma around like giving your mental health more of your time and attention, or even like you just said, taking better care of yourself as a man.
yeah.
Since it is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, like I want to just
Hmm.
continue to plug that. Is
Yeah.
there any last word you would like to share, as a mic drop, to just close us out tonight?
I just want to encourage, like I say, all the guys to just give themselves grace for one, and give themselves the space to become. Like
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what your life has ahead of you. Like we all are just we're existing and we're taking it day by day, but your life can have a drastic turn before you know it. So give yourself grace, give yourself the space to explore. It's never too late to pivot and go in a different direction. If you feel it on your heart, it's never too late to change your environment. Don't be
Mm-hmm.
scared to. Like this is the time we're coming up on an age where, like I say, it's about truly being your authentic self and just being happy with yourself outside of the extra shit. Outside of once you take the designer off, once you take the jewelry off, once you get out the car in the house, how do you feel when you at your when you alone with yourself in your room at night?
Yeah.
Nobody else is there. How do you feel? And I want to encourage all guys to just explore that moment of just being vulnerable with yourself and just being
Mhm.
transparent with yourself and just being honest with how you're feeling in the moment because it's so important. It's so
Yeah.
important. And like I said, seek out help if you're going through anything mentally, if feeling like harming yourself in any type of way, you feel like the weight is just on your shoulders and you can't breathe, reach out to someone for help. Like I
Yeah.
can't stress that enough. You know what I'm saying? From someone who's dealt with suicide ideation, like reach out for help. Thank God for strong and supportive friends, but you
Yes.
have to give yourself space and
Mhm.
just it's so sensitive to me because I don't know why I've been so emotional this last fucking year. Like I don't know what's going on,
You
but
you going through a spiritual awakening. So everything that never made sense now is like really the picture's becoming clear. It's like knowing you need glasses
child.
you ain't had no glasses on for the
Yeah.
longest, and then finally getting a pair, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's everything becomes a lot more
So clear.
clear.
So clear.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
clear. But yeah, so yeah, just encourage all the guys to just
Yeah.
be totally vulnerable and just give yourself, like I said, give yourself grace. Like it's hard enough as a black man navigating in this world right now. So give yourself
Mhm.
space, give yourself, try to find community and reach out for help. Like there's
Yes.
life coaches, therapists, counselors. There's multiple ways that you can get help. You know what I'm saying? Before run into the bottle or run into drugs or run into whatever you're trying to mask or escape or cover up. Like, give
Mhm.
yourself grace and give yourself time to become whatever you're becoming. You know what I'm saying? Just be.
Yes.
I wish everybody peace and happiness.
Yes. Yes. And a safe space, right?
Seriously,
Because
because so many people don't have that.
they don't. They don't. And I
Yes,
agree with you now. Being vulnerable doesn't just save you, but it frees others around you. It sure
it's
does.
so true.
It sure
That's so
does.
true.
Because once they start to see how much lighter you look, that glow,
The
or,
energy,
that energy comes back, they're like, oh my God, like, all of a sudden, like, you just seem like
whole
a
new
different
outlook.
person. And definitely, yes, me too, Nev. I'm a boy mom too. Um,
Hmm.
this one tell me
What
everything. I
Charles
don't like
said.
when you made me, I don't like when you got mad. It made me feel, you know, sad, or I didn't feel like you heard me, or whatever,
And I love that
it's
they feel safe enough to even express that nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, and be
yes,
and be totally transparent with you in that moment. And there's, for one, there's kudos to you guys for making them the boys feel comfortable enough to come to you guys and just be vocal like that. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Because so many parents, so many kids don't have that and don't even
yeah,
know what that looks like. So
yeah.
shouts to both of you guys. You know what I'm saying, for being boy moms and cultivating that space for your kids to come in and be honest. Mom, you made me feel this type of way.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because what Lil Wayne
Yeah.
said, he gonna flip the world. He gonna pick the world up and drop it on his head. I'll do that about mine. Okay. So he definitely he gonna come. He's going to come to me and let me know when he don't feel safe, when he don't feel comfortable, when he feels ashamed, like
Hmm.
surprised, just through and through therapy, right? Or just for
Yeah.
me helping him to discover, like, how are you feeling? And he give me bits and pieces. I'll say that's called embarrassment, right?
Hmm.
And that means you don't want, you feel the eyes, right? You feel the eyes.
Hmm.
So it's different things that we can do. I want to always make sure that regardless of how I grew up, right? We grew up in an old school era where, children stay in their place. They don't be around when grown people talking. You don't really get to say what you don't want to do, don't like.
Right.
I don't eat this, I don't do that. Yeah. If mama made that for dinner, you gonna eat that. Yeah, you
Oh,
gonna
you
eat
ain't
that.
eating.
Or you don't eat. You go to sleep hungry, balled up. Yeah, you can do that. And there was just not that place for us to have a voice. Now I get it.
Hmm.
A voice shouldn't run the house just because you got a
Absolutely
voice
not.
and an opinion.
Absolutely not. Mm-mm.
But making sure they understand that, like, what they have to say matter is
It
valid.
matters.
Your feeling is valid.
Hmm.
How this environment makes you feel matters. The
Hmm.
people I have around you, that matters. And I was a pretty quiet kid. So when I did speak up, if it wasn't received, then I went right back to
In your
you know
shell. Yeah.
yeah, but I found my voice with friends, right?
Yeah.
And so then it was like, oh yeah, this is not so bad. Like, that's just how my old school parents are. But then you
Hmm.
have younger parents and they doing different things, so it opens your eyes. And I just always say, I want to make sure at all costs that Jackson grows to be a man that knows how to identify his emotion, how to regulate his emotion, and how to share that emotion. If I
Yeah.
can help you with those three things, I did my job as a
He'll
mom.
be good. He'll be
Now, the
good.
things your daddy teach you, that's he got his own list. Okay, he got his own list. That's my three. If I can give you those three, that I did my job. If I can give you those three things, I did my
You
job.
did
Now,
your part.
I did my three. I did my three, but it's not easy raising a young, brown boy.
I can
In this
imagine.
in this day and age, it just isn't. So if we can offer a sense of safety and comfort, but not coddle them to the point where they
Hmm.
don't know how to function, that's
Function.
my greatest fear, though, is that I'm solving everything, or I'm doing everything, all the things, and then you get out in this world and one little inconvenience, you shut down.
You shut completely down.
I can't have it. I can't have it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
That's
so
my mother
grateful
was the
for
same
my
way.
network.
Yeah.
So I hear you, Demi, and I commend you for being, the man that you are, open with who you are, transparent, vulnerable, so that your vulnerability helps other people. I think it is so powerful. Like, just to have come to this place, and you grew up around so many different women, right? You had that influence.
That's
But
it.
then to think now, standing as a man, providing for yourself, like making way for others, helping others discover that, like, that's purpose, that's
Yeah.
providing, that's protecting. Like, I feel like you're doing what you're supposed to do in this community, and I'm super proud of you.
I'm
If I don't
accepting
say
it.
it enough, I know I try to tell you often, but it
You
is
know
just,
how we do.
it's just amazing to see things come full circle, because when I met you, you told me what you were gonna do, and I was like, okay, then do it, do it, because that's what you said to do it. I trust you to do it. And some people
hmm
just have it in them. You feel it in their spirit, you feel it in their presence, and you're like, something different
Yeah.
about this person. And so I always knew, you got it in you. But like I said, when that roadblock comes, trust yourself enough,
Keep going.
trust yourself enough to find your way. You already
That's
got
what it's
everything
about.
you need in here to
That's
be
it. That's it.
successful. Listen to God's guidance.
That's
Trust
it.
yourself to get through it, and take the opportunities at every single turn to grow from that experience. Whether you
That's
get
it.
it right, you don't get it right, you still learn.
It's still a learning experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
That's
come
it.
out wiser. So I'm super proud. We're gonna continue to tap in with you. I
Of
gotta keep
course.
I gotta do this more often. But I'm so happy you've been a part of this series talking about men's mental health, and just expressing your journey, because I know it hasn't been easy. It probably is still not easy, but no, even though I'm not a man, I'm still a shoulder to lean on. You always have me. You can always reach out to me for anything
Uh-huh.
at all, and I got you. And
We
fellas,
got each other. We know how it is.
yes, absolutely,
Cause
absolutely.
we be it's hard out here.
It's hard. It's hard, but we're gonna get
And we
through it.
need community.
We're gonna get through it. Yes,
But yeah, so we gonna definitely do a part two. I definitely see a part two. I got some stuff coming up. Now that I'm back in my zone and in my mode, and we'll
yes,
definitely be doing some things together, like what we discussed previously. It's gonna be coming up, yeah, very soon. So I'm gonna be reaching out to you for that as well too, because it's all about living in purpose right now. That's what it's all about. Like
one hundred
honestly,
percent, one
yeah,
hundred percent. Yeah. So we're gonna do it. It's on the book already. Just tell me the date. I'll be there.
it's a go, baby.
I'm
Thank you
excited. I'm
guys for
excited.
joining us tonight and being present.
Yes. Yeah. Thank y'all for joining.
Is the
Please
book
share
is the
one
book still available?
the what? If do I need to go get my box? Listen. Yes, it is. The book is still available. I'm working on an affirmation product right now. That
Uh-huh.
I have not been satisfied with how it's coming out. And I'm like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not describing it the right way or something, because it's not to my
Flowing.
liking.
Sometimes you gotta take a step back and come back and revisit. With a fresh lens. Sometimes when we have our goals, our mindset on something, we just this is how it's supposed to be. And then once it comes into play, you're like, oh, something's missing. Take a
Yeah.
step back and not be so critical on you, because I know how you can.
Okay.
How you can be.
Okay.
Not be so critical.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
you doing what you gotta do. So what we said, trust in yourself.
Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Yeah. Trust yourself. Yeah, I trust myself to overthink every time and be like, this ain't good enough. Because it has gone from a coffee table book to affirmation cards that have their own stand and everything. We can, switch it out by the
Yeah.
day. Did me? Somebody need to reel me in real quick. Because I could have, some could have dropped a year ago at this point. But you know what? I keep saying, when it's meant to happen, it will happen.
It'll happen. Yeah.
Um, and I want to be very proud of anything that I do. I
Yes,
want
you
to be
do.
proud of the product. I put a
Mm-hmm.
lot of, pressure on myself to, like, we don't show up halfway. That's just not what we do. If we're going to do
Yeah.
something with the gift you've been given, deliver.
Gotta deliver it.
Like,
Yeah.
deliver. Don't nobody want a pizza delivered to them with a slice missing. Like, it's going to piss you off. And so that's what I feel when I don't deliver it the right way, right? It's like you just halfway did that and you know you're not even proud of that. So I
but
would never.
but that's you though. That's yourself. Like that's
Yeah.
and it could be A1 work to everybody else. So we just
You know how people do. They say that it was good. The little Nancy Pelosi clap. And then and then you hear the shade, you know. Girl, you
it's
know.
gonna reach the people it's gonna reach, and it's gonna help the people it's gonna help. That's how I look at everything that's going on right now. Even with me, I'm self-conscious about some of the content that I'm putting out and stuff like that, but it's going to reach who it needs to reach. That's it.
Oh,
And
it's been
that's
good.
as
It's
long as you're
been
moving in
good.
purpose, everything else is gonna play out. Like it's I'm everything's scared right now. That's it. So guys,
Yes.
the
Tell the
book is
people how
still
to follow you, Demi.
I'm fit.
How
We
to
finna get into
follow you.
the book is still available. That is definitely I feel like you need to go and grab the book real quick just to get the people a visual.
Okay, I'm gonna grab the book, but please,
And I'm gonna
please
tell the
tell
people
them
about how
about
to follow me and stuff.
your ebook.
Uh huh.
Okay,
Go
okay,
and grab the book.
okay, okay.
She
All
finna
right.
go and grab the book. So guys, anybody I have a meditation channel that I am dropping very soon. Where I'm going to be doing guided meditations just to help you guys really start meditating. Meditation has been so pivotal in my life right now, and it's helped me transition so much. So I'm gonna be dropping that. I've already dropped the first video, and some more videos are gonna be coming out within the next couple of weeks. My podcast will finally be dropping within the next couple of weeks. I have 2 episodes recorded. I'm gonna record like 2 more, and then they'll be available on Apple's, all your streaming, Spotify, all of those places. And the podcast is gonna be centered around mental health, but coming from a perspective of a black man first, and then just someone who's going through the journey
Mm-hmm.
as a millennial. As a millennial, we face so much right now because we're at that pivotal point where we remember the old life, and then we also know how new age is going. So we're kind of like in that space of trying to navigate all of it. So just some of the complexities of navigating that space, that's going to be dropping very soon. And then the coaching is also going on. I'm now back seeing clients for coaching services.
Yes.
That's the new wave right now. Like that's what my purpose is for right now, just helping enlighten people and just see how powerful we can be once we lock in and cut out some of the distractions and really do the inner work first. We can't do anything until we start doing the inner work. Once we start doing inner work, everything else is gonna fall into place because you're gonna have more clarity, you're gonna have more peace, and you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be able to function and focus on what you need to focus on. So that's gonna be going on as well. What's going on with the book? Come on, let's talk about with this book, y'all. This book right
Well,
here.
just in case, the link is in my bio, y'all. This is a book super proud of. It's called Putting Me First. We touched on some of the principles within the book. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
look, see, there's a couple samples of the work I was gonna
See?
look. Anyway, y'all, listen. Um, my book it's a fast read, right? It is 21 chapters of just some of the most powerful principles that I learned and early on in my therapy journey that helped me to really learn to stop feeling guilty about having boundaries or knowing what I want or
Mm-hmm.
stating what I want. Stop allowing myself to be distracted. Stop allowing my mental health to take a decline because I'm people pleasing or I'm trying to navigate life and I'm
Yeah.
putting myself on the back burner, and then not losing yourself just to grasp hold of something else.
Mm.
I know some of us will lose ourselves trying to compromise or find love or all the things. Love will not deplete you. Okay, it's not going to empty that tank.
It
And so
should.
if you it it will not. It will not. If that's what it's doing, that's not love. So I just want, this book is not about love, but it is about recognizing some of those emotions, some of the signs that you aren't putting yourself first. And then there are some
Mm-hmm.
beautiful exercises in here that will help you to really like start to purge those things out of your life, regain this sense of like confidence around those new boundaries or our new
Mm-hmm.
walk forward. And then not for nothing, just stepping into like, okay, so what's next, right?
Yeah.
And that's the most powerful thing is for us to never get too comfortable that we don't expect the what's next. It's always going to be
Mm-hmm.
one. So many people out here are like, oh, I always wanted to be a this. You do it and you achieve it, and then you're like, ooh, I've been doing this 5 years. I'm not that passionate no more. Okay, so what's the new passion?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So what's next? But that you don't do that if you don't put yourself first.
Yep.
It's very easy to get comfortable. It's very easy to allow yourself to be in that rut. But when you recognize that spring in your step, that glow, that excitement about each new day is just not there anymore, it's a different calling. Something
It's a
else is calling.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so we can't
Yep.
be afraid
To take a
to pursue
leap
that. Yeah, trust yourself.
and bet on yourself, and like and really trust your journey. Like you
Hmm.
have to trust your journey and let it unfold. As
Yes,
scary, as uncomfortable, as challenging as it is going to be, just let
yeah,
it unfold. You're gonna be all right.
you'll be fine.
You'll be
You'll be
fine.
fine.
This is amazing, sis. Thank you for having me on.
Of course,
I'm
thank
so proud of you,
you.
like always. Continue to
Yes,
enlighten and uplift the people. You know, I love it.
what I'm here for, baby. I'm here to bring us up like a push-up bra, you know?
That's what we on.
Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for giving us a moment of y'all evening. This is not over. We'll continue to have these type of conversations and make it a safe space for us to come and drop gems and also ask questions and address the uncomfortable. We're not your typical, interview situation. So
Yeah.
join
We
us
keep it.
again. I will have a new guest on Juneteenth.
Mm,
So definitely I'll be posting some information about that, and I'll see y'all there.
I'm
Thank you,
excited.
Demi. Have
All
a
right.
good evening, and we'll
Thank
chat
you,
soon.
love.
All right.
You
Thank
too. Bye,
you.
y'all.
Bye, y'all.